have a special guest, producer Chris Plummer. He's going to talk about Eliminate. And as you all may know, we had some big news break last weekend, and hopefully you can sort of explain a whole bunch of it to us.
I'd love to.
Awesome.
Nothing would make me happier.
Fantastic. All right. So I think the big thing is that all of a sudden Eliminate now is very heavily focused on upgrades. It's become like upgrading your characters become a very core part of the game. So kind of how did that decision come about?
Well, I think all of us love RPG games, and there's, as long as I've been making games, there's always this discussion about RPG meets FPS, and what's the right way to do it, and so there's been a lot of thinking about that. And then what we were doing a couple months ago in the game was creating these armor sets. And at that time, I think we were thinking a little bit more like class-based gameplay. Each of the armor sets had different attributes, and that's still the case. However, when we got down to tuning it, and you look at all the different stats that we were tuning and changing and tweaking, we found so many fun combinations that it felt like, wait a second, there's something more here. You could really customize your character, not just by choosing an armor suit, but actually customizing exactly what that armor suit can do, giving the different armor sets, different strengths and weaknesses and costs to upgrade and so forth, and then extending that into weapons and other things. So it just started to take off from there, and felt like the game got so much deeper, and you started getting really attached to your persona in the game, what you owned, how your weapon was tweaked out, having really interesting conversations about it. So it was, the whole upgrade system was born out of that.
So I guess the big question though is that all these people upgrading constantly, how are we ensuring that the game doesn't become unbalanced or people end up with an unfair advantage?
Well, a big part of the game from the beginning has been the matchmaking, and so it's not a peer-to-peer game where you don't know who you're going to connect to or how the quality of connection is going to be. We're hosting these global servers that one, ensure that you've got a good connection, but then the matchmaking system ensures that you've got a good match. And as we started building that system a long time ago, the intent was really to try and keep the matches fair and therefore a lot more fun if you're evenly matched. What we found as we started playing with upgrades and customization of the character is that the matchmaking system just enhances that, because let's say I could just somehow trick my guy out to maximum ability, which you really can't do, but in like one fell swoop, you'd have to invest a lot of time in the game. But let's say I could do that, and I'm in for a few games, I'm just like opponent everybody. Well, the matchmaker's watching that and can quickly start putting me with the best players or people who have are exhibiting similar skill. So you take that simple example and now apply it to these little steps you're taking along the way, like the way you level up in an RPG, and whatever, your sword gets a little stronger, you get the +1 sword, or your spells last a little longer. It's the same sort of thing here, is that as you're upgrading your gun, there's lots of different dimensions you can upgrade on each gun. There's lots of different dimensions on each armor, and those are affecting your abilities to play a little bit. They're giving you some advantages, but for whatever advantage that's giving you, it's really resulting in you getting matched with better and better players, or at least players who are performing better in the arena. They may be performing better in the arena because they're just really good. They might be performing better in the arena because they've upgraded a lot, but it's most likely a combination of those two things. And so, assuming that everyone is going to be upgrading your character, because everyone can earn credits and use those credits to buy upgrades, that just ultimately ends up factoring into the way the matchmaker works. So at the end of the day, we're trying to ensure completely fair matches by putting people together that have similar track records against similar ranked opponents.
Cool.
Promoted to level 9.
And bam, check that out.